Well, we'll bring you the details of the news now. The Chebi Government Hospital in the Eastern Region, typical of most public healthcare facilities, is not as adequately equipped as the authorities would want it to be. Most of them, for years, have had to grapple with challenges ranging from lack of enough staff and the accommodation and logistics. What the Chebi Hospital needs the most, however, is chemistry analyzer for its laboratory. MFA Joynews Atani has more.
The Chebi Government Hospital is one of two district hospitals serving the Chebi and Isachim districts. Per its strategic location along the Accra-Kumasi Highway, it remains the first port of call for especially victims of motor accidents and for residents in the surrounding communities. The chemistry analyzer is just one of the many things the hospital lacks. But the laboratory technician believes it is the one thing that impacts most significantly on healthcare delivery.
When the doctor diagnoses something concerning liver or kidney, now this is clinical diagnosis. Then we do biodiagnostics with the chemistry analyzer. We actually take your sample like blood, take the serum, and then we go and then analyze and see whether really the kidney or the liver is being affected. Now, any internal organs, these are the analyzers that you use to actually determine them. And then most of the problems are on the HIV patients because the T cells of the patients are always very low, and it puts pressure on the internal organs, especially the liver and then the kidney. And they need to do all this at least every month.
Hospital authorities say the lack of the analyzer means the patients are referred to nearby private facilities, except they never return for the doctors to complete their diagnosis and treatment.
Okay, it will cost the person not less than 200 Ghana when you go to.
But assuming it were at the government hospital here, how much would you have in charge?
Okay, we have the this in what you call the health insurance covers it. So we have the this in the list here. We have the insurance that's non-insured. This is price list for insured. And then we have the LFTs 8 cedis 14 pesos.
Wow.
Yes, very cheap.
The Chebi Government Hospital, as far as authorities can remember, has never operated with a chemistry analyzer. But there are other problems that need to be resolved. Among them, the lack of accommodation for staff, inadequate medical staff and limited space at the morgue. Some health officers posted to the facility never turn up, especially because there are no quarters to house them. A case in point is an ophthalmologist who is yet to take up the post because there was no accommodation when he first reported. The hospital, he says, is having to find a way around the problem.
Fortunately, we have an ophthalmic nurse who is currently in charge of the place, but there are certain cases which are beyond her capability, and therefore we will need the optometrist. Sometimes we want the staff to come, but even when they come, we don't have a place to accommodate them. And there's a labor ward now that is fully furnished, but it's not functioning because we don't have the requisite staff, that's the midwives, to man the place. So the place is nice, very nice for the pregnant women, but it's not being used because we don't have enough staff. If we should open that department to make it operational, then it means that we will have to move the already inadequate staff from other departments to that place, and we cannot afford to do that.
The Deputy Director of Nursing, Madam Mary Yvonne Atipo, is meanwhile urging women in the area to quickly report to the hospital for antenatal care immediately they realize they are pregnant in order to avoid complications. MFA Joynews Atani for Joynews.
Meanwhile, Sergeant Fuamwechel for opinion, has charged the area's citizens to make sure they do the right thing. And the Ochihini has replied President John Mahama regarding the president's recent utterances during a two-day duty tour of the Eastern region that Chebi is the headquarters of Galamsey in Ghana. Well, he charged the president to rather tag the region as the headquarters of bad roads. The Ochehene noted that the poor nature of roads in the region had contributed to the collapse of some businesses and inflicted hardship on travelers into the region. The Ochehene challenged President John Dramani Mahama when addressing his sub-chiefs during the Achimwe-Buakwa Traditional Council first meeting of the year at the Oforipenyin Fie, Chebi, last Friday. He charged government to fix the roads in the region, adding that if such roads were rehabilitated, the unemployed youth could engage in other businesses that involved traveling rather than engaging in the illegal mining activities in the area.
We turn our attention now to some energy news. The Energy Commission has begun the destruction of thousands of used refrigerators illegally imported into the country in June last year. The units, about 5,000 of them, arrived at the Tema port in defiance of a legislative instrument, LI 1932, passed in 2010, which bans the importation of used refrigerators and other electronic gadgets as part of the country's energy conservation drive. According to the Commission, those responsible for the consignment will be prosecuted once they are identified.
Following the passage of the law, a grace period of 2 years was given to allow importers and dealers to readjust their operations, but many of them have continued to import, even after the expiration of the grace period. According to the Energy Commission, the 5,000 refrigerators that were released by the port authorities for destruction were originally concealed in 45 containers classified as personal goods. Deputy Minister of Energy and Petroleum, Abu Jinapo, explains the essence of the ban.
Indeed, refrigerators and air conditions account for about 60% of the consumption at the domestic level. And we believe that with the usage of new refrigerators, those approved by the Energy Commission, we can halve that consumption. And so if you do the mathematics, this can really impact on the consumption, especially at the domestic level. Quite apart from that, these used refrigerators have chemicals that deplete the ozone. They have environmental consequence, and that is why we are determined to stop the importation of used refrigerators.
Minister for Environment, Science and Innovation, Atani Delali stressed that investigations have already begun to identify the owners of the seized items, who will then be prosecuted.
While the items were coming, they declared them as personal items. That to me is fraud. We want to sound a warning that the days of ignorance are gone. And these days, we work together with sector agencies to implement each environmental law. And hopefully together we'll contribute to the elimination of climate change impacts on the economy, on our lives.
He added that measures are being put in place to ensure that other entry zones are strictly monitored to stop smuggling of the used refrigerators. The impounded refrigerators were sent to the Afenya dismantling site, where they would further be destroyed and parts sold to scrap dealers.
Now we have two dismantling facilities. We have one at Kwabinya and then the Presan Kwan. The one at Kwabinya deals with the rebate scheme. Those who send in their own old fridges and are giving new ones, the old ones, we take them to Kwabinya. And the ones that are seized by SEFs at the ports, because of the law we are enforcing, they bring them to this facility. We make sure that we have a tracking system in place where we track what we bring here. Yeah, through way bills, through tracking numbers, so we know how much we have brought in here at the end of the day. So the issue of some slipping back into the market.
The Energy Commission in September last year introduced a scheme to encourage consumers to turn in their used refrigerators for new ones at a discount. After a pilot project in Accra, the Commission announced in May 2013 that the scheme will be at all parts of the country. Matilda Vamagan for Joynews, Tema.
The chief inspector who assisted 9 others to steal underground cables worth 700,000 Ghana cedis belonging to Vodafone Ghana Limited, Enoch Lamte, was sentenced to 10 years imprisonment for abetment of crime by an Accra Circuit Court, while 6 of the other suspects were also freed. The trial judge Francis Obri, who sentenced him on Monday with 3 others, Kwejo Japong alias Joe, a scrap dealer, Abubakar Al-Hassan Damba, a Kia truck driver, and Abbas Abubakar Enoch, a scrap dealer, said Enoch Lamte should not have tried to stop his colleagues from going ahead to arrest the suspects. The judge sentenced the others to 5 years on conspiracy to commit crime and 10 years to stealing. All offences would run concurrently.
Well, President John Mahama has instructed the Roads and Highways Ministry to expedite plans for footbridges across relevant sections of the Tete Kwashi Medina Highway. The entire 3-lane dual carriageway from Okonglo through to Legon bypass has now been open to traffic. According to the President, the footbridges are key to preserving life as the highway nears completion.
The Tete Kwashi Medina Highway has been under construction for some time now. Traffic on that stretch had been a major headache for commuters who are forced to use just one lane due to the ongoing construction. The President today inspected the road as the entire 3-lane dual carriageway was opened to traffic. He was received on arrival by the Minister for Roads and Highways, Amin Amidu Sulemana, who briefed him on the progress of work.
It has eased a lot of traffic, and the challenges we have with no entering and no leaving Legon have virtually come to some, not completely resolved. We hope that we are able to do this road. We also take on the one from Jempa Junction to Aguba, and if we do that road, we will have bypassed Legon in so many ways, and there won't be any problems again.
The minister also briefed the president on other challenges impeding smooth work.
We need to put footbridges here as quickly as possible. If they open the other carriageway, we can anticipate the recklessness of our drivers on this road. So we need a footbridge, one at Pisek, one at Opongolo, and the one at Golf House. Those are the challenges, but they were not part of the original contract. So that is why we will, when the contractor finishes this works here, we'll have to negotiate with him and let him carry on with those footbridges as quickly as possible to avert the situation that we're experiencing on the N1. The other challenge too we have is unscrupulous steal our road infrastructure, our road furniture. There were supposed to be cables here to provide street lighting. Those cables have been laid and they have been stolen already.
The president congratulated Sonitra for a good work done and urged the ministry to expedite work on the construction of footbridges to save life.
Already I can see that because this tunnel has been opened, the speed with which vehicles are passing here is very great. And so if students from this university and others want to cross the road, it becomes very dangerous for them to do so. And so let's speed up and put the footbridges. But I'll call on the Ghanaian public and pedestrians to be very cautious when they're crossing the road. And also to the drivers, there's a speed regulation. You're not supposed to go above a certain speed limit in the city. And so they must maintain that speed caution.
We earlier spoke to the project manager of Sonitra, Dr. Richard Kofi, who explained what's left for the road to be completed.
What is going to happen is we have some traffic which is separated, grade separated traffic. So those coming to Legon won't have to interfere with those going to Medina and Adenta. So what we have to do here now is just to complete the crash stone base and the asphalt, and this road will be ready. Basically that's about all there is, but we still need to put the last layer of asphalt on it. So what we have there now is the binder, and we will have to put the wearing course on it, which will take another week.
We turn attention to some party political news, and former President John Kufuor has asked newly elected New Patriotic Party executives to work in consonance with their predecessors and open doors to all members of the party to make them feel welcomed. A statement signed by the spokesperson of the former president, Frank Ejekum, urged the new executives to further strengthen unity within the party and work hard for the party's victory in 2016.
And we're still staying with the NPP. Restructure, rebrand now. That is the main focus of newly elected national chairman of the New Patriotic Party, Paul Afoko. He says modifying the party's operational strategies is the surest way to recapturing power from the NDC in 2016. Paul Afoko and 9 others were elected at the party's delegates conference in Tamale Saturday to manage the affairs of the party for 4 years, with the ultimate aim of securing victory for the NPP in the 2016 general elections. Mr. Paul Afoko spoke to Adum TV.
Unity no dear. My Chiniganda, all 275.
Uniting the party is my major priority. I've already spoken to Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and also former President John Agyekum Kufuor. And knowing very well they are solidly behind me, I have no worries at all.
Solidly.
The Eastern Region town of Kwewu, just like all Easter holidays, will be the first choice destination for many Ghanaians and tourists during this Easter. The town is famed for being the fun capital during the period. On a recent trip to the town, Neil Akrofis Matabe reports the townsfolk were eager to play host again this year to a lot more revelers, even though they don't appear very much optimistic.
The mountainous town of Kwewu in the Eastern Region is synonymous with Easter celebrations. The town, which has become even more famous for its hosting of the paragliding festival, receives scores of visitors every year during Easter who participate in the myriad of activities available. But during my visit to the town, there was not much activity. In fact, the various towns on the Kwewu Ridge could pass for any ordinary town minding its own business. But traders like Rose Echaba are hopeful business will pick up in the final days leading to Easter.
Oh, you go home, Boasso, Kakra. Easter, ne de eba. I also akabe se 2 weeks no. Na adetono, chassis, eba. To drew what will be a timber beto there or the bayen when I did Easter. Oh, Yamiadum Kakra.
Others like this taxi driver, though, are not so optimistic.
Until we preparation be yeah. See, 2 way there. Ubi and yes, I have a party at Mentimento on my son. They will
try their cry and talk. Yentok, Scanny Ghana. Yeah, bless her, but what is Cacotradias over Conosono, where I bet on him wow. You want to know you must have a show. You said a bed, I didn't mean a yet you know you must have.
Following rumors of condom shortage last year, I asked this chemist if his outfit was preparing for what might be a great sales period.
Sometimes they even bring them to us for free so that we can distribute to those who come and celebrate their Easter. But sometimes you do educate them that if you come and you think you can't be safe or you can't protect yourself or you can't abstain yourself from having sex, then it means you have to use the condom so that you can just get rid of those sickness like syphilis and other things. Yeah.
So have you got condoms, extra condoms?
You see, yeah, I do. Sometimes you see, yeah, I do.
Vice President of the Kwewu Easter Planning Committee, Oheneba Kofi Amankwa Bosman, however, assures tourists and even Kwewu natives currently outside the town of improved security during the festive period.
There was street jams. Security. Bibia is safe. Ubibia na pro you may be by, but no there. Everything has cut. Ya bibia ma antiase adwuma. Obaha sebi ukuta panye kwa to form one. Because of any member being no, unsabeka bibia. Ya pesu obia mra. Now may enjoy.
So if Kwewu is on your calendar this Easter, do not be afraid to carry through with your plans. In fact, hotel reservation may not be a bother, as hotels such as this one are expanding their facilities to accommodate the hundreds of thousands who will descend on the town. Niakrofi Smatabe, Joynews, Kwewu.
And I tell you what, if you're planning to be in Kwewu during the Easter, then you must have reserved your hotel room already. Otherwise, I mean, today is a Tuesday. Don't even go there. But the Akumadan Tomato Farmers Association is urging government to prevail on fresh tomato traders to choose their produce over that from Burkina Faso. Nesta Kafui Ajama reports that Bono Ahafo region farmers are desperate without the patronage. They won't be able to recoup money spent on their farms.
Last year, the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, in collaboration with the South Korean government, inaugurated a $2.2 million tomato expansion irrigation project at Akumadan in the Offenso North District. The project was aimed at improving irrigation systems in the Akumadan area in order to ensure all year-round tomato production. The farmers were therefore encouraged to venture into tomato cultivation at the Akumadan irrigation scheme so they could feed the tomato factory at Wenchi. The factory is now defunct, and the tomato farmers say they are doomed. Despite their investments, traders from across the country decide to bypass them and buy from neighboring Burkina Faso.
Misra Ghana by and in penny for the my tontosi say, Yampaji and Nisha Yakuponem, Nabakina Diano, Wamumeleki Kakra, and my Nomumra, Akuma Dam, no Mamma Tontos in the Mayan, Nesomba Tomayan, Nianso Yenya, at the Pebby Free Moa. Nyakopoya domo to yan kwanem e ma afida beto ye betima be ye adwuma ne de chen sei ne nso nya be de ahwe aboa ye ma school ehwem
efri samre ku bia no omodaroma ommoye ese su yetangu se Burkina Faso de no eda so ho enti yesre Ghana abai ne abai mu mpanyimfo a enam wo mo so a e makoli abai e baba ye dam no ma ye ne se omuntu omo nansi fom na sabre yi kwedie omo ne atofo no nhihye se de be ya omudu akomadan so a ombe gina no mabusaye. Explaining
the operations of the Akumadan irrigation scheme, the plant engineer Amos Bila said they spend as much as 13,500 Ghana cedis on power. This amount, he stated, is passed on to the farmers, the more reason why they need to be successful in selling their produce. Nesta Kafuya Joma filed this report from the Bono Ahafo region.
Well, so those are the stories we have for you in the morning. And before we go to a recap of our top stories, the Ochehini has replied President John Dramani Mahama concerning his recent utterances that Chebi is the seat or the headquarters of Galamsey in Ghana.
Well, the Energy Commission has begun the extraction of thousands of used refrigerators illegally imported into the country in June last year.
And Easter is just around the corner, but traders in the nation's Easter destination, and we all know where the country's destination for Easter is, Kwewu. Well, the residents there, or the inhabitants, they're not so enthusiastic about skyrocketing sales figures that they are likely to experience as a result of the patronage, though, but they'll still welcome visitors or revelers for the event.
All right, and just before we go, some news from Nigeria, and this happened yesterday. More than 70 people have been killed in a bomb blast at a crowded bus station on the outskirts of Nigeria's capital, Abuja. And the explosion happened as commuters were about to board buses and taxis to go to work in central Abuja. And our hearts are with you. We know that you watch the AM show. Our friends in Nigeria, our sympathies goes out to you. Stay with us. We'll bring you sports. It's brought to you by Cowbell.
Coach Kwesi Appiah of the Black Stars has been awarded a doctorate degree in sports psychology by the Dayspring Christian University of Mississippi, the United States. Well, this comes as a massive boost for Dr. Coach Kwesi Appiah.
At a short ceremony held at the School of Allied Science campus in Accra on Saturday, Black Stars coach Kwesi Appiah was awarded an honorary doctorate degree by the Day Spring Christian University of Mississippi. Coach Appiah still living the utopia of becoming the first indigent tactician to lead the national team to qualify for the FIFA World Cup as the new recipient of the Doctor of Psychology and Sports degree. The former Ghana captain was one of the 10 top Ghanaians, including Speaker of Parliament Honorable Edward Do Ajaho, who were all honored for various contributions to the development of this country. To be thus christened Dr. James Kwesi Appiah, a citation was read celebrating Coach Appiah for his impressive results he has churned out as Ghana coach and for qualifying the national team to the 2014 FIFA World Cup. Other personalities awarded by the American University were Bishop Anoyeboa, Samuel Vindex, Rex Asarina, Kwame Nyameche, Felix Nyakopong, William Panford, as well as Gideon Amenyedo.
Primavera Consultant will organize an exhibition between the Black Stars and a local select side alongside massive entertainment at the Accra Sports Stadium on May 23 to offer the national team an opportunity to bid farewell to fans before jetting off to Brazil ahead of the World Cup. And fans will choose the local select side by texting as many times they prefer the team players as well as the technical team through the short code 1413 across all networks. Opariotu, a CEO of Primavera Consultant, explained the motive behind the main event.
We are giving the opportunity to the fans, the supporters, that we believe that we are coaches, to select a local side that will play against the Black Stars. This time around, the supporters out there, they are going to become the coaches. We are not picking any coach. The supporters, it is your responsibility to pick the players. Then, of course, it is also your responsibility to pick the coach who will manage the select side. There will be a short code that you have to send the player's name, then the short code. So basically, that is the reason why we're putting this program together, so that the Black Stars can say thank you to the people of Ghana. We are going to Brazil and we need you to support us. We are not doing this alone. We want to add entertainment to it. So we've engaged Ochiame Kwame.
Well, let's turn attention to some mainstream football news. And Hazakes ladies and Fabulous have made the final of the National Women's Soccer League for the second year running after both recorded victories on the final day to top their respective zones.
Hazakes ladies and Fabulous ladies both stroll into another Women's Championship final following victories on the final day of the league. The two sides who competed for last season's title topped their zones as the competition came to a close over the weekend. Fabulous, losing finalists in the previous season, started the weekend in second place, defeating Ampem Dakwa 4-0 as they profited from Prison Ladies' loss to overhaul them to the top on the last day. A brace apiece by Anita Mankwa and Agnes Edrako helped Fabulous to secure another date with Hazakes. A double by Samira Suleimana, followed by Messi Edubuahen's goal, helped preserve Hazakes' lead as they defeated Soccer Intellectual 3-0. And the win saw Please Ladies' challenge fade away, despite winning 2-1 against bottom side Ayola. Ayola bowed out with no point gained and the highest number of goals conceded, 41 in 10 outings.
And that's it for our morning sports. It's brought to you by Cowbell.